more, we can speak to Dr. Selin Nasi, a visiting fellow at the European Institute of the London School of Economics. Hello to you, and thank you for speaking to Paris Direct. Earlier this week, Ismail Haniyeh met with Turkey's foreign minister in Doha. Now he's meeting the president. What does this suggest? Is something in the pipeline?
Well, it is too soon to say what will come out of this meeting, but at a time when Qatar expressed its willingness to withdraw from the hostage negotiations, it is quite likely that Turkey aims to position itself as a mediator in the conflict and perhaps take over Qatar's role. But there are two questions to ask here. Does Turkey have leverage over Hamas's political wing, compared to Qatar? And how will this serve to the settlement of the Palestinian issue, which Turkey champions? Turkey indeed offered to mediate between Hamas and Israel for a ceasefire and prisoner exchange at the onset of this conflict after the October 7 attacks. But at the time, it was a bit premature. The timing wasn't very realistic because it wasn't realistic from Israel to accept such a mediation before seeking retribution from Hamas. And Turkey felt frustrated that its efforts were not taken, its mediation efforts were not taken seriously. And now, again, Turkey is trying to use its links to Hamas as a leverage over Israel. However, Ankara's especially pro-Hamas stance throughout this conflict has locked Turkey out of the diplomatic efforts at the international level. And so Turkey is trying to get back in the game, sort of. But again, I think from my perspective, Ankara fails to see how traumatizing the October 7 attacks are for the Israeli society. And Ankara is hoping to play a constructive role in the post-war settlement in Gaza. But in order for this to happen, it needs Israel's consent. And I don't see how it is going to be possible given President Erdogan's repeated messages that Hamas is not a terrorist organization.
Sorry, just to step in there. On that note, you mentioned that Turkey has to, be willing to, Israel would have to welcome Turkey into the fold somewhat to become a mediator. But that seems so unlikely given what Turkey has said about Israel in the past. And as you mentioned, not recognizing the trauma after those October 7th attacks. Can you elaborate on that a bit more, please?
Sure. Turkish society has always been sensitive to the Palestinian issue. What sets the AKP government in power, the ruling party in power, apart is from its predecessors is that it has been increasingly pro-Hamas. It has its pro-Hamas stance distinguishes AKP from its predecessors, particularly from 2006 onwards. Allegedly, Turkey has provided passports to Hamas officials, and the Hamas officials have enjoyed sort of operational freedom in Turkey, which has become a bone of contention between Turkey and Israel and undermined reconciliation efforts. So Ankara still refuses to designate Hamas as a terrorist organization, and we know that Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood in for Palestinians, and there is ideological kinship between AKP and the Muslim Brotherhood. So that explains the sympathy for Hamas movement. But I don't see that how this is going to serve Turkey's roles or expected role to play in the settlement of the Palestinian issue, because the past experiences shows that forging closer ties with Israel enabled Turkey to play a more constructive role in the settlement of the Palestinian issue.
Only a few months ago, we were reading stories about how Qatar was indispensable, how it held the keys to the Middle East, how the road to the Middle East went through Doha. How did that change?
Well, Qatar has been under a lot of pressure internationally, and there is another problem, I think. we have been seeing reports which question how much Hamas's political wing has any influence over the military wing, which is essential to reach a ceasefire agreement and for the release of hostages. So I think Qatar is looking for a clean exit here, perhaps, because it doesn't want to carry this burden anymore, which has become a liability for Qatar. That's my reading of the developments.
All right, Selin. Thank you very much. Dr. Selin Nasi speaking to us from London. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.